My ex-girlfriend left me twice, first for a new boyfriend just days after our breakup, then for not being the man she wanted. Now she says you never considered my feelings, while I silently suffer, still in love and respecting her decision to move on. How did it come to this? Hello. Please bear with me, this is somewhat lengthy, but it is my only way to express my feelings since I have no one to talk to about this. People around us may change their perceptions of her, and I do not want that. I hold no ill will toward her, not even hatred for what she has done. To be honest, I still find myself loving her. We broke up after 3 years of being in a relationship because I was not showing up as she had expected, the bare minimum, as you might say. At that time, she was still in college while I was working. To be transparent, I was in significant debt but still loved her dearly. Every penny counted for me at that time, and I would work even on weekends because I wanted to escape that situation as quickly as possible. My insecurities were overwhelming. I had low self-esteem due to my circumstances, and I admit that I neglected our relationship because of that, which led to her decision to end things. I was utterly devastated but respected her decision because I felt very low about myself back then. A week after our breakup, she was already in a new relationship. I only found out about this when she told me during a conversation we had. By God's grace, I was able to resolve some of my financial problems, not all, but enough to breathe and sleep peacefully at night. After the breakup, I redirected my attention to our dog and focused on improving myself spiritually and emotionally. It was challenging. I spent several weeks lying in bed until one day I managed to get up and pursue self-improvement after weeks of moping. She, meanwhile, entered a new relationship that I was unaware of until she informed me. I was focusing on taking our dog for walks and bonding with a Kahiro. We decided to co-parent for our furry baby. Our communication resumed, and I thought it might be dangerous for me to go back to that since I was genuinely heartbroken when she ended our relationship. But I tried not to think too much about it and did not view it with any malice. She began opening up and eventually told me that she was in a new relationship. She did not mention it until she joined us for dog walks with my family. We were not alone. I was uncertain about how I should feel. I was somewhat hurt, but I did not want to show it, so I remained composed and even offered her relationship advice on how to resolve issues with her new boyfriend. I had always been the more mature one in our relationship, so when there was a problem, I focused on finding a solution. She then told me how she had already given herself to the guy in just 1 week of being together, and I think she was concerned about my reaction to that before joking that she had not. I was very supportive of her from the start. Months went by and she eventually started talking to me more, seeking advice on how to approach her new boyfriend. She candidly admitted that things were happening between them at that time. She had been a virgin throughout our relationship, and I wanted to respect her during that period since she was still studying. Then there came a moment when she was a month late and she panicked. I supported her and advised her on how to discuss this with her boyfriend, who was 20 at the time, while she had just graduated from university. I felt cornered when her boyfriend did not respond seriously to her messages, which made me feel terrible for her. I told her that if he did not respond, I would be willing to step up and take responsibility for the child. It was not confirmed that she was pregnant, but I suggested she get checked since she was terrified. Fortunately, she persuaded the guy to accompany her and it turned out negative. During the checkup, I was genuinely worried because I was in Cebu for a work trip. I kept in touch with her to see how it went and she did not answer. 2 days later, she finally responded, saying it went well and that it was negative. It was on Mother's Day and we were becoming closer again. She told me she had no feelings for the guy and I realized I had loved her for a long time. Feelings surged forth. She informed me that she was planning to end things with him, and I think it was a mistake for me to hold on to that hope. Fast forward to Mother's Day, I was still in Cebu. She did not respond to me all day. Finally, in the early hours, she replied saying she had just returned home. I saw from her story that she had gone out with the guy and introduced him to her family. I was left devastated. I asked her how she could do that to me and she took down the photo, responding with what I should expect from her since she had no choice and similar remarks. I decided not to reply. A few days later, I cannot recall exactly how, but we managed to reconcile and then I had to return to Manila. She was telling me that she still loved me. I did not reciprocate verbally. Deep down, I was afraid to admit my feelings for fear of being hurt, but yes, I still loved her at that time. Weeks passed and we had to celebrate my sister's birthday alongside hers since they are in the same month, just days apart. We decided to celebrate in Tanay, Rizal and returned home that day. It was a wholesome celebration and we enjoyed playing around and having fun. When we returned, she asked me to massage her hand, so I did and she fell asleep holding hands with me. She slept peacefully while I contemplated everything that had happened. She mentioned that she had ended things with him. Fast forward to July, I had some issues at work and eventually had to shut down my position and so did she. I needed time alone to process everything happening around me. She was patient and waited for me. In the first week of July, when I began talking to her again, on July 2, she was unwell and informed me that she would need some rest. By this point, I had discovered the guy's Instagram and was secretly watching his stories because he posted a video of himself bowling, and I recognized the watch and sandals of the lady he was with. It was her, but she denied it. There was also a video he posted showing them talking in a car. The video started from her legs up to her face, which I found offensive as it felt objectifying. That night was when she stopped replying and explained she had fallen asleep when she went out with him to talk. Going back to July 2, he posted a photo of her from behind while she was buying cinema tickets. I called her to ask where she was, but there was no response. I went to her house bringing medications, but her mother told me she had gone out with high school friends for a reunion. I was shaken, literally trembling as I walked away, still trying to contact her despite the rain. I did not care if I got soaked. I decided to return home and messaged her with questions about what was happening, including a screenshot of her with him after blocking her. I went to bed afterward when I heard a message notification. I opened it to see a message from her boyfriend or ex, I am not sure anymore, calling me rude. This triggered me completely. We argued in the chat and he threw many hurtful comments my way, even sharing photos of them in bed, insulting me, while I remained calm and simply stated that he should take her home because her mother was worried. Following that, I stopped contacting her after deciding to shut down my Instagram account and leave things be. The next morning, I brought donuts to her mother as a thank you for her help. It turned out they had fought in the car and the guy wanted to take her away. She did not reach out to me after that incident, but she did talk to him, apologizing while I received no acknowledgement. I decided to let it go. 2 days later, she called, unsure of what to say, but she was there. This is my foolishness. I supported her as she claimed she did not want any of the sexual encounters they had. She said she was coerced and advised her to think of me as the partner involved. I did not judge her. She was already estranged from her family as they found out everything. It turned out they had intimate relationships more than 5 times but fewer than 10 in their 3-month relationship. I just concentrated on helping her recover while I didn't know how to feel. Fast forward to months later, she broke up with him and asked me if we could try again. I said I was still uncertain and suggested we focus on healing. I may not have told her, but I was having bad dreams and felt deeply hurt that I could not meet her. I think my grief came later than expected. I remained that way until December and January, and then in February I gradually became more open. I even sent her flowers for Valentine's Day. Things got somewhat better, but I cannot say that I am completely healed. I still carry the trauma, but I cannot tell her because I do not want to hurt her or make her feel ashamed. We go out, but only with family, never alone. We simply eat out on weekends. I do not talk much in person. I open up more through chatting. I do not know why. I felt a bit emotionally unsafe. On March 23, she joined a group of friends on an outing with my family. They were initially my niece's visitors. My niece and she became good friends, or at least that was what I thought they agreed on as we discussed going their separate ways if they wanted. I did not pay much attention to them. I just greeted them as they got in the car, even though I was in the front seat while they were in the back. I knew one girl did not like me, so I felt quite awkward. However, I did my best. When we returned home, she got angry with me, saying I had embarrassed her in front of her friends because I merely passed by her like I did not care. I kept explaining that it was not my intention. I thought everyone was having fun with their groups. She lashed out about how we were not going out alone together and that I had not changed after 4 years. She counted the year in our relationship as if nothing had happened. In the end, she again ended our relationship. She dumped me, stating she could not return to that kind of setup. I was profoundly hurt and devastated once more. I was extremely depressed, but it has been a month and I can say there are fewer tears, but I often find myself staring blankly, unable to focus, even at work. She claimed I never considered her feelings and that my actions had greatly affected her. This time, she said there would be no going back. I decided to respect her decision and let her be, but we agreed to co-parent a Kahiro. I told her she could block me everywhere and that co-parenting does not require us to communicate, and I could ask her mother whenever I needed to pick up a Kahiro since she was often angry each time I tried to reach out. I think her anger was triggered when I said I was not ready yet and did not get a chance to explain myself. During this phase, there was a lot of her lashing out and expressing emotions to the point where she told me things like, "You're smart, aren't you? Why don't you understand?" When I shared how I felt, she said, "Don't use what I did against me because that was only a few months while you had 3 years to change." It was truly painful to hear such words from someone I love and cherish. I was not afforded the opportunity to explain myself. She even told me, "If there's something wrong with you, don't drag me into it." I felt she indirectly called me foolish and crazy because of how I behaved and reacted. Her friends suggested I was a waste of time since they did not see us as affectionate toward one another. Her point was that this was my opportunity to prove myself because I was attempting to win her back. This left me puzzled. Win her back. Now I kept telling her to block me on everything since she was always angry whenever I tried to reach out, even regarding a Kahiro. She even reposted on TikTok that whenever you miss the bond, remember the disrespect. I wanted to speak up but still love her too much to hurt her by bringing up those matters, so I chose to leave it alone. I love her, which is why I let her be and took on the role of the villain in our story that she shared with her family and friends. So that is all. I still struggle to move on from her, which is why I suggested that blocking me would be best since it would eliminate any contact or communication. The co-parenting aspect could involve me asking my niece to inform her aunt. Just now, she expressed anger, stating that she was fed up with me because I constantly mentioned blocking her and removing me from everything. I apologized since I thought it could relieve her of some burden, as she recently told me she was exhausted, and I assumed it might be because of me. So yes, I said I was sorry and did not mean to make her angry. Sigh haha, that's all. I cannot really vent to my family. I do not want to ruin her reputation or image, so I have decided to bottle all this up inside myself. Guys, yes, I know I'm foolish, haha. Anyway, thank you for listening or reading. Story 2. After 3 years of love and dreams, my boyfriend blindsided me with a breakup saying, I just can't keep doing this. We got back together after therapy revealed his ADHD, but now I'm haunted by what if we're broken beyond repair? Is it time to let go? I'm a 22-year-old female and I am uncertain whether to remain with my boyfriend, who is also 22 years old after 3 years together. 5 months ago, he abruptly ended our relationship without any warning. He expressed concerns that I was completely unaware of and issues that I had no knowledge about. I genuinely did not anticipate this outcome. We had even discussed marriage and children just 1 or 2 weeks prior to his shocking decision. I pleaded for him to give me another chance, but he refused. He was meant to spend that weekend with me as I was going to be alone after my family had just left, so I requested that he stay over. We had even talked about this that morning. However, that night he simply ended our relationship. I begged him not to abandon me and to return to my place, but he would not. He broke up with me while I was in my car, and despite my loud crying and pleas for him to stay, he attempted to leave. Eventually, after much pleading, he agreed to listen to me. We discussed the breakup that day along with the issues he had raised, and it became clear that there were significant communication problems. He had been feeling distress over matters he never shared with me. Whenever I highlighted something needing attention in our relationship, he perceived it as a personal attack while I was merely trying to communicate and address concerns. He struggled with low self-esteem issues stemming from childhood, which we later discovered in couples therapy, and he often viewed himself negatively. No matter how much I tried to comfort him, he refused to listen to or believe me. The other primary issue was that he did not appreciate how I reacted when he made mistakes, such as forgetting important things, failing to keep plans he had made, and acting immaturely at times. These instances pushed me to my limits, resulting in me lashing out. It turned out that he had 2 decades of undiagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Throughout our relationship, whenever I pointed out that something was amiss, because it was unreasonable for anyone to be so forgetful, he dismissed my concerns. I urged him to seek therapy and take it seriously, but he never did during the 2 years we were together. I acknowledged that my reactions could be inappropriate at times, yet he often provoked me to that point. For instance, he once forgot his passport, necessitating a 2-hour detour, and on another occasion forgot something else, causing a 1.5-hour detour. We missed dinner at a restaurant during a vacation because a task that should have taken a short time ended up taking too long, as he repeatedly forgot things and had to return to our hotel room multiple times. After we discussed everything, he came to regret breaking up with me. 2 days later, we reconciled. I was thrilled to be together again as the thought of losing him was painful to me. He has meant everything to me for the past 3 years. We always envisioned marriage, children, and traveling the world together. Then he unexpectedly ended our relationship, which made me eager to get back together. We did reunite and discovered his ADHD, attended couples counseling, yet we still do not find ourselves in a good situation, especially considering this occurred 1 month before a planned year-long long-distance relationship, with flights booked for traveling to Europe together. Long-distance relationships are challenging enough, and entering one after everything that transpired has been difficult. For the past 4 months, I have been traveling alone, which was previously arranged, while he has been working away from home. Although I had flights booked to see him after this period, the dynamic no longer feels the same. He has not been the same person since he broke up with me. I began to lose my feelings and let go of my unhealthy attachment, the inability to go a day without him, and I simply do not feel the same anymore. I believe I should consider breaking up now, but I struggle to take that step. He is my person, my love, my everything. I can still envision myself marrying him. I do not wish to be married to anyone else. I could never erase the memories of the 3 years we shared together. We essentially lived together, raising a dog and sharing an apartment. The mere thought of ending our relationship is painful. However, every time we argue or experience a rough patch, I am instantly reminded of all that has transpired. Our relationship does not feel the same anymore. I am at a loss about what to do. I do not want to lose him as he is my best friend and my everything. I would like to mention that since our breakup, he has been making improvements. He received a formal diagnosis, has been undergoing therapy, apologized for ending our relationship, expressed his regret, and is attempting to be better. Yet, these efforts do not alter the fact that everything we went through has changed our relationship dynamics and diminished my trust and comfort in him. In summary, after 3 years together, my boyfriend unexpectedly ended our relationship 5 months ago, revealing unresolved issues and communication problems that I was unaware of. He eventually realized his mistake, we reconciled, and began couples therapy, uncovering his childhood-rooted self-esteem issues and undiagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. While I still love him deeply, our relationship has not felt the same since the breakup, especially with us now engaging in long distance. I have begun to lose the intense attachment I once had, and I am torn between staying with the person I thought would be my forever or accepting that things may be too broken to repair. Despite getting back together, starting therapy, and his attempts to improve, the situation does not feel the same, particularly since we are entering a year-long long-distance phase. While I still have deep feelings for him and cannot picture being with anyone else, I feel conflicted. The breakup shattered my trust and altered our dynamic. I am uncertain whether to stay or let go.